What clip?
It is fucking. Listen to what I've just said. Play the link I've just sent you.
Okay,
this guy.
I should probably be able to hear it on the show. Oh fuck this! Hold on a second. Here we go.
This is mental.
All right, hold on. We're already recording, pal. So here. This is for everybody listening to Tony Khan on the NFL Network. Here we go.
We are the most successful sports startup since the AFL pre-merger. There has not been a challenger brand that has gained as much market share as AEW in many, many, many years. We are like the Pepsi of pro wrestling.
Oh.
And we're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling.
Oh my God!
And I'm really proud of what we do down here.
All right, I think.
And
the fuck is he talking about? It's a planned line as well. It's like he planned.
Well, it's to shit on Vince. Obviously, is what that is, because it's look, sex charges and shit like that. So he's on them. It reeks of desperation. By the way, welcome to the Dirty Sheets. This is our we're talking some AEW today, and then we're going to have on the pay service where you get your Apple, of course, and you get at thedirtysheets.com. We will be doing the Wrestling Informer, where we have multiple stories involving Liv Morgan. We have Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and JoJo. So that'll be over there. But today we're going to talk about the catastrophe called AEW. When I called it on the show the other week, and pretty much everybody fucking did, where I said he will have a fucking neck brace on in the fucking war room. And such a fucking moron. He's sitting there moving his head around like nothing happened to him. If you're going to do it, fucking do it right. Pretend your neck fucking hurts. He's moving around. He's dancing practically. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? But this is a sad... he's got such a hard-on for WWE. Instead of, like, concerning himself with his fucking trash product, which has turned to trash... Because in the beginning, Billy, were we way into it and all in, so to speak, no pun intended, on this fucking product? Because WWE sucked so fucking bad. So people can't say, you guys just fucking WWE guys. It sucked so fucking bad for so long. And we were like, I'm begging someone to fucking have something else. And I wrote Tony a fucking love letter practically, thanking him for having a fucking alternative because it was such trash that we had to deal with. And then it's like he read his own fucking news clippings and thinks it's good. And because all he does too, which is very fucking weird of him, he is like, I'm your friend if you like my stuff. If you have a criticism, I don't want to talk to you. And it's like, how do you fucking grow if you're just like, you want to be surrounded by only yes men? It's fucking ridiculous. Apparently, old JD used to he talked to him before. Gave him like critiques and shit and like, this is what's fucking needed because he fucking didn't kiss his fucking ass. Tony don't fucking talk to him. Totally fucking didn't take one word of fucking information, nothing. Because now he's not sucking his dick. It's fucking ridiculous how he expects to fucking do anything with this shit show. Your thoughts?
But he did employ that Will Washington, who did suck him off. And then under a year later, Will Washington's cousin is the fucking champion. So he adds that Will Washington from Fightful to creative. Will Washington, by the way, now completely disassociates himself from Fightful and barely interacts with them. But this is the thing. Tony's behavior is in line with the journalists that he aligns with. That's the thing. Like, you can't criticize Meltzer. He'll fucking throw a tantrum and he'll retweet you and tell you why you're wrong. And Sean Ross Sapp will block you. And then he'll like abuse you in your inbox and then block you before you can reply. This is exactly how Tony is. He's in this wrestling bubble. He's around these wrestling bubble dickheads. And this is exactly how he acts. He acts like the journalists that he listens to. And one thing that you said there in terms of the neck brace, this guy completely did his best Eric Bischoff impression after going toe-to-toe with Bischoff and slagging him off for months. He then tried everything to be Bischoff this week. The only thing he didn't do is borrowed from Vince in '94 during the steroid trial, how to fucking wear a neck brace and how to sell it in a fucking courtroom. Because if you are going to move your neck around like this, you look like a fucking moron. Also, when you're going to make an analogy, yeah, maybe you are the Pepsi and WWE are the Coca-Cola. That's fine.
Yes.
That one you can say. If WWE are Harvey Weinstein, who are you in that analogy? That makes no fucking sense, because Harvey Weinstein, Pepsi didn't compete with Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein isn't a soft drink maker, right? Harvey Weinstein doesn't put out a fizzy pop, right? So he's not at the top of that game. So Pepsi don't compete with Harvey Weinstein. Pepsi compete with Coke. So he said, oh, they're the Coke, we're the Pepsi. And if somebody at Coke raped someone, or if there's some sort of conspiracy with Coke, that would understand. If they are the Harvey Weinstein, what movie producer or actor are you? That makes no fucking sense.
You know what they are then?
It just seemed like something that he wanted to say. It was preconceived and embarrassing across the board.
If they are Harvey Weinstein, then AEW is the 40-year-old virgin.
Well,
there you go. There's your movies analogies and show business analogy.
Yeah, but 40-year-old virgin is a film. Harvey Weinstein is a film producer.
Yeah, but at least you're in that realm. But that's the only thing they could be, because that's what I was saying to Fausti. I said, they could be this kind of scrappy underground kind of producer like Sylvester Stallone, who couldn't get his break and he made his own movie. But the thing is that you can't be that either, because you got $7 billion fucking dollars. So you're actually worth more than the WWE are as a family. So you can't even come in with that one. I mean, obviously with the merger of TKO, UFC and WWE to form TKO, they're now worth more than the Khans. But the Khans ain't some scrappy little underdog where they turn around and go, oh, we're the best startup and we're the most successful. You had $7 billion. Yeah.
Like, you could do anything you want. You could you could have done Austin and Hogan at your first pay-per-view if you wanted to, because both of them would have had a price. Like $1 Million Man says, everyone's got a price. Like, you could have done what you want. You're not some scrappy underdog. Like, this is so delusional in everything he says. He's so dislikable. Like, you just want this company to go out of business.
That's the problem.
I root against the Jaguars. I have nothing against them at all. They used to actually be the team that I got to watch the most.
That's funny, because they used to be a favorite of mine too. They were a favorite of mine when there was expansion. That was my team over Carolina. That was my expansion team.
I love Florida. Florida's the place I visit the most. Obviously, it's Orlando, but still, I like going to Florida. I could easily go to Jacksonville. I get a guaranteed Jacksonville game every year. They should have been my second team, 100%. It makes absolute all the sense in the world. I fucking hate them. Like, I want them to lose. I want them to be like fucking 0-17. Or it's just, and he's done that. I just can't stand this guy. But I mean, we got to talk about like the the week overall. But I don't know where to fucking start. I mean, we can start at the start, but we haven't started at the start already. So it's already not.
I love how we start the show now, where I just click record in the middle of us just talking when we jump on the phone, so people are kind of in on our conversations and stuff, and then it's like, hey,
I mean, I literally unraveled a clip, because I unraveled a clip like 10 seconds before we started. Like, I was literally just Cav. If you came on time, I wouldn't have found that, because I wouldn't have been killing time on my phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to get off. I'm trying to get the boss off the phone. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to be working. I'm like, hey, I gotta go. So let's talk a little bit about Dynasty. I got the matches written out, the order and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to touch on things, because we're giving you 30 minutes of this show. And then, like we said, there's going to be more show for the Informer on your pay service.
Let me tell you something. I just want to tell you something that just proves how badly AEW are marketing their brand. I got my notes here, and I just had some quick notes, and it was in terms of how we're going to format the show. And I've put Revolution Review and Dynamite. I off the top of my head, considering that I cover this and have watched it, I didn't even remember that was what it was called. Because so much shit's happened, and because it wasn't marketed properly in any way. Like, they don't do a good job of first of all, I forgot it was on, and at the last second, I had to do a betting podcast for it. I then realized that the lines, because of the way AEW book, every favorite except one at this pay-per-view won. And every favorite was like -500, -700, -1,000, and they all won. Like Ospreay against Bryan, -1,000. Like there was no unpredictability in this entire pay-per-view at all. The only underdog that won was Kyle O'Reilly lost.
Kyle O'Reilly was the favorite?
Yeah, and I didn't agree with that either.
I don't either.
I think no. Yeah, and that one was a mistake by the
obvious.
books. Yeah, so that was the only thing. So yeah, and I literally got a Revolution, but yeah, Dynasty. Sorry, go on.
Dynasty. Pac against Okada was the first fucking match, and here's the thing: like, they're into the whole we wrestle bullshit, right? I don't mind it when it is pay-per-view. When it's pay-per-view, you give me a good match, I will sit. You're not looking for commercials, none of that shit. Give me the match then, and that's supposed to be the end of a fucking storyline. It's what fucking Tony enjoys to do is I just want to book people who have good matches against people who have good matches. And that's all. And cater to only that. And no, like, when you want to talk about Bryan fucking Ospreay, it's like, all you wanted to see was the fucking match, obviously. That's all they wanted to fucking see. Because there was no... The buildup for it was, I'm the best. No, I'm the best. That was the buildup. Who's the best wrestler in the fucking world? And much like I fucking bitched and complained about the stupid fucking slogan of Orton and Edge, the greatest wrestling match ever, which was the stupidest fucking thing in the world to say too. That's all this is. This is, let's have a fucking wrestling match. And the funny thing is that people think, oh, look, NXT copied the end of that match. And meanwhile, NXT had a story going back to, what was it, February, when they did the same move and the other guy hit it. So it was a continuation of that. So if anything, Bryan and fucking Ospreay did the fucking finish of NXT.
I tell you, this whole thing about good wrestling matches, individual good wrestling matches, in the end, don't make for a good show, which sounds bizarre because you turn around and go, "Oh my god, that show had like five 5-star matches." If you want to go down that route, but when you go to the circus, there's a reason that you have somebody like fucking blowing fire, and then you bring the clowns out, and then you bring the fucking acrobats out who walk the rope and fucking like jump across the ring.
Variety.
If it was just if it was rings, if you go out there and be like, "Oh my god, they're on the rings, oh, they're jumping across the rings, they're walking the ropes, they're jumping the rings, they're walking the ropes," if it was an hour of that, nobody would go to the circus. And that's why nobody goes to AEW, because it is hours of that. And it was that at this pay-per-view. At WWE, you can get the fire and the clowns, or at least you did more so. I'm not thrilled with the way Triple H is booking Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, on a side note, has been awful since WrestleMania, apart from the one after WrestleMania. There have been like highs, but for the most part, it has gone back to that unwatchable state. And that's the only statement that I'm going to make about it. But I think it's important to get it in here before this becomes an AEW hate show, because somebody's going to be like, "Oh, WWE this, WWE that, you hate AEW." No, Raw's awful, but this isn't about Raw. But I just want to put that in there because it negates that point of view. At no point can you turn around and say, "I'm a WWE sympathizer," because when they do the same thing, when I am suffering through match after match after match that's happening for absolutely no reason, I'm not entertained by that either. In fact, one of the more interesting things that happened on Raw this week was when Gable actually came out to fucking explain what he did and then buried the members of Alpha Academy. That to me was more interesting than all the great wrestling matches that Gable's had and all the fucking tags and everything that he's been on. My understanding is, and there's so much news on the Informer this week that I can actually even talk about this here. I think that all those guys are going out of the group and they're bringing Alpha Academy. Sorry.
The Brutus group.
Oh shit! What the names popped out, man? Because I'm not on my news notes.
That Brutus and Julius guys, right? Those guys.
What are they called though?
I don't know.
It's in my notes, but I'm not on my news. I just wanted to just get that out here,
the
before.
something brothers, right? The Creed brothers. I always call them the Julius brothers. Yeah, the Creed brothers.
So, here we are. Yeah, so I had it in my notes. I've got over on Wrestling Informer, we have JoJo news, Liv Morgan news, a correction of a Becky Lynch story, news about Seth Rollins' contract, and the future of the Creed brothers, which is what they are called. Yes, they are going to be replacing these guys eventually, and that's the plan at the moment. And there will be a new Alpha Academy, and that will be similar to Team Angle from 2003. So going back 21 years, because there are no new ideas, there are only old ideas that are redone, basically, as Tony Khan proved this week. So as we circle back to AEW, I'm not a hater, and trust me, I wanted this to succeed as well. It was before the tribalistic fan base and all this bullshit, and we realized what it was going to be, but it came at the perfect time. WWE in 2019 was unwatchable. WrestleMania 35 was a bad WrestleMania. Everything in 2019 wasn't really hitting. It just seemed like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I mean, you can even think back to Roman coming back from leukemia and returning at WrestleMania, and he was still being booed again by the end of the year. They just couldn't do anything when AEW came around. So we then had the pandemic, and it was just a case of, okay, which company now is going to recover best from this pandemic? Because if there's any kind of leveler, it's you got a show with no people, and we got a show with no people, and we're selling a pay-per-view with no people, and you're selling a pay-per-view from no people. It leveled it all out. And then obviously you had the situation with CM Punk, and then you had the Bloodline, and suddenly one company made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and one company hit home run after home run after home run. And it just comes down to the fact that you had one guy whose pitcher had a fucking ERA of 0.78, and the other guy, Tony Khan, has an ERA of fucking 12.12 or some shit, and he just kept fucking allowing the other company to throw home runs after home runs. You don't understand the analogy. I don't care what sports, you fucking losers. So this is the big difference between the two companies across the last 24 months has been the ownership and the decisions and the failure to do anything with the signings. Now, WWE haven't hit a home run with all their signings. They've signed and re-signed some people who haven't worked. But ultimately, the main person that they did sign is the fucking champion and is selling bundles of merchandise. So that's the bottom line at the end of the day. And he took him away from AEW, who did nothing with him. And he left because he knew the direction of this company, which is probably in a worse position than he even thought that it would be in. So I know we're going to run through the matches. We'll run through them very quickly, but I just wanted to get that out there. All these matches are fine, and all these matches are good. But all of these matches that are good and fine, that look the same, one after the other, you're bored no matter what. And you're bored by the time Bryan and Ospreay come out for the match that already started at 5 stars. Before it started, by the time the bell rang, it already had 5. It could only lose the 5.
Yeah.
We all knew that. That's how stupid it was.
I'll agree with you on that. And you know what? I said, okay, I'm going to watch this. And I wasn't jumping up and down from the fucking match itself. Like, I'm like, it was fine. But if there was no vested interest in, like, with the story of it, and, like, I know Brian is all into the I want to wrestle, and he's doing open palm fucking slaps. Like, let's get real fucking technical, and we're going to grapple, which is fucking, like, me and you have both said the match between Sean and fucking Brett was the fucking a bore fest for us. We were ready to fucking hang ourselves. It's an hour of them fucking having a fucking match. Nobody wanted to see it. Going into Dynamite, I've heard everybody fucking do the review of this, and everybody says the same exact shit. Where it
hold
is,
on,
yeah,
hold on. A couple of things. I just want to. I will get off the pay per view, but a couple of things. First of all, I have to use our star system for that match. We have to do that one match. And second of all, we started at the top of the show with the Okada match. I don't think this guy's that good. Like, I've fucking been watching him,
who
and
cares,
I've been trying to watch him, and I'll be like, all right, let's fucking come on, I know this is not your thing, but you know what a good wrestling match is. You know the fundamentals. You know the stages of the match. You know, like what the offense looks like, what the selling looks like. You know, the finish, the move set. You know what you're looking for, right? Like, it's not what attracts me to wrestling, but I decided to watch his matches carefully. His matches with Eddie Kingston, just terrible. This match with Neville, I call him Neville, but Pac. I try to, and you got to have a good match with Pac. Like, you got to have a really good match. In fact, with the way that these two guys are regarded in the industry, I know like Ospreay and Bryan was the one, but why wasn't this match, with the way that these two are spoken about, compared to it in terms of like going in terms of like the way these two are spoken of? They should have been capable of having 6-star matches with Dave, but the audience had decided that they're all in on the other one. But still, if this guy's this good, and I'm sure that Pac can have 5, 6, 7-star matches for this community in terms of what they regard to be it, this match should have been a lot better. And this match was nothing to me. Like, I didn't think this was anything, and I haven't thought anything about this guy so far. I don't know what I'm missing. Am I missing something?
No, I don't think he's like bad. I just think I don't think he's bad. It's a guy who has a fucking match, which is what they, and for $13 fucking million.
Okay, he's making nearly $4 million. He's on a $20 million contract. I mean, he's on three. It's on three. What is he on? So he's on three something for the beginning. I think he gets 10 and 20, 10 and 10, like 10 for the first 3 and 10 for the next 2. So he's going to be making what, $3.5 million approximately per year. So he can't speak English, right?
No, he does, but it's it's barely, yeah.
So he's there to be this incredible wrestler. Like, essentially, considering that Bryan and Ospreay can speak English, then he should be the best wrestler in the company. Is he that?
No.
So, out of interest, if Dave gave this match 4 3/4 stars, which was level with the best match at Mania, which was the Cody Roman match.
Oh my God. Well, I thought he gave 3 3/4 or something 4 3/4 for that one for Roman.
Yeah, and 4 3/4 for this one.
Oh, I thought you said it was 4. Oh wow, really? It was almost a perfect match. Oh my God. It's all credibility is gone with him. Literally, it's like I don't know how there's any credibility when he gives a star system anymore.
Let me tell you how bad this gets, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets how bad. Like, I watched this pay-per-view. It was okay. Like, it wasn't like the worst thing, but it just got repetitive, and I was in 2 parts. First, Edge and the bums he's teaming up with versus the House of Black, where Edge takes the fucking pin.
Jesus.
4 4 1/4 stars.
Wow. Wow. I mean, Eddie Kingston
for
fell
that
down.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston to me is unwatchable.
See, what's funny is
Willow
I've always loved
Nightingale.
Eddie Kingston. Just because probably the way he's, it's more the promo before the match and all that kind of shit. I don't think it's the actual wrestling match.
Willow beats Julia Hart. That's 2 stars. I am not going to talk about this because I need to talk about Sasha and her coming into AEW in general and that shit show on
hustle it up
on Dynamite. So I want to get to there. He somehow gave Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly 4 stars. 4 stars for that.
That one was hard to watch for me. I was really fucking bored with it. But these are the people who just want to see a fucking match. Like, I like the technical. It's like, oh, fuck.
Jericho and Hook, where Jericho was given not like the chance that say like you've got heat, not like, he's got heel heat or whatever. As in like, please retire, go away, Jericho, go away.
Yeah.
This got 3.25 stars.
And he hits the guy with a fucking bat in the head.
Yeah. Tony and Thunder Rosa got 4.25 stars.
Jesus.
Then you got the Jericho. Then you got the Osprey match. We know that got 6.5 stars.
6.5
for out. The Young Bucks ladder match got 4.5, and the Swerve Strickland title win got 4.25, which I actually expected to be higher. So let's talk about. Let's just talk about the match, the main one, and then go on to Dynamite. I know we actually haven't got.
I was gonna say, what are we doing? No, we're not. You're gonna. I think there's gonna be another show actually where you talk about a few things.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about.
We're against the clock, my friend. We're supposed to be doing a half hour of this and then the other show too, and we're at 27 minutes now.
Yeah, but I told you, like, just let's finish this show and whatever time's left.
Okay.
Other show. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, within reason, there's got to be like 20 minutes left, but still. But let's talk about that match and then do Dynamite, and then I'll talk about what. Yeah.
I love our time together. It never is right. There's no way we get these things done in the time that we're supposed to, but we're going to be doing it in May. That's going to be the interesting part.
What the hell was I supposed to like do when I got caught off guard with the extra shit at the start? Like, that was a fucking extra 10 minutes. So these are the 10 minutes.
I was like,
but go on, let's do the match. Why is it 6.5 stars and why is it not?
Oh God, here's the problem. You tell me why it's 6.5 stars. I couldn't fucking tell you. I thought it was just a normal match. I didn't find anything. There was like 3 moves that I said this was impressive, where he had like the fucking triangle hook, heart triangle fucking choke, and he turned it into a Styles Clash.
Well, let me ask you this: without these fans, without the fans like blowing out of proportion, without the fans in the audience blowing out of proportion, without Dave giving it 6.5 stars, would you actually like the match better? Did these people actually ruin it for you in some way, or do you just shut out this noise?
It wouldn't bother me if the crowd is way into it. I don't mind. I want it to be a great fucking match.
Not the crowd, the internet, and then Dave. No. And knowing the rate, like when you come out of it.
My problem is more so such as the Orton Edge thing, where ahead of time they go, this is the greatest thing that's ever going to happen. You go, oh, motherfucker, let it happen. And I'm also bothered that it's not there's no story to it. That turns me off immediately, where it's just, here's a fucking match. And like Ospreay's promo is yelling at Triple H. Instead of it's like, what the fuck? So I'm like, I really don't care that's the big difference for me. I don't care if a match is not even fucking halfway good. If it's mediocre and there's a fucking story behind it and people want to kill each other. Like, you know what my favorite match, quote unquote match is, Billy? And it's Macho Man and Jake. Yeah. And it's fucking 2 minutes fucking long. And it's just blood. It's just they want to kill each other. And the aftermath The aftermath is unbelievable in that fucking match. Slapping Elizabeth, DDTing 50 fucking times. And that is top of my list for I would go back to fucking watch, because you know the rivalry. You know the heated fucking part. This is, we're two friends and we want to see who has a better match and see who comes out on top. Lovely.
Well, it's not just
great.
That. The story was essentially like, let's go out there and have a great match. That's like two teams turning around and saying, that's like two teams in the Super Bowl saying, oh, we're going to go out there and you're going to see a lot of points scored.
Let's try to get to overtime in the Super Bowl. Come on, guys.
It's fucking stupid. Like, it fucking basically turns. It's the difference between the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl, and this is what this is what it is. But that's what it feels like. So that's the main problem with it. I have multiple problems with this match, other than the fact that it was overhyped by the entire community. You come in, you do the British wrestling stuff, you do the strong style stuff. Okay, cool. Then suddenly you're selling all of this stuff from the beginning, like, oh, my arm hurts from that and my leg hurts from this. Then as you take it home, nothing hurts anymore. You're kicking Daniel Bryan literally pins this guy's arms down and kicks him in the face 5 times, and the guy sells it for 2 seconds. I'm sorry, but there's 2 ways that you can think about this then. Either you're completely burying the sport or burying wrestling, shall we say, if it's not a sport, or you're burying everything and making it look as fake as fuck, or you have the most pillow-fisted hands, and pillow feet that you could possibly have. Like, you are making yourself look weak, because anybody who can land a significant strike, they will be able to knock you out with two kicks like that, or 2 punches at best. If I had 2 clean shots at somebody, I would consider myself to have pillow fist if I couldn't knock them out. If they had their hands behind their back, and they took 2 punches from me, and they were able to, if they said, all right, you got 2 punches to knock me out, otherwise, like, I'm going to untie my hands and I'm going to come after you, I'd be concerned that they were able to get to that point. This is what happens here. Like, these guys are kicking each other in the face. They're telling each other, oh, you hit me. Bang, bang, bang. No, now you hit me. You chop me. You punch me. You hit me. This style doesn't work for me. The no selling doesn't work for me. The 2.5 doesn't work for me when you're on 5th or 6th, wherever these guys were on the card. It's like, yeah, I've seen everybody kick out. I know everybody kicks out in this company just before 3. I see it. So what surprise is there here? The finish, I don't know what that is. Like, I think it's confusing for people. Obviously, Ospreay is going to go through something where he can't land the finisher. It's going to lead to, like, him losing a match of some description and falling out with Callis. And I don't know what these stories are. They're very like loose stories. And already you're watching Dynamite, which we'll get to now, and already you get to Dynamite, and one of the many fucking flaws, of which we are going to try and list as many as we can in the next 10 minutes. One of the many flaws is that you watch Dynamite, and because of what happened with Brian, and then you get to Dynamite, he's not hitting the Tiger Driver, right?
Yeah.
But the explanation for why is at a press conference that you needed to watch to understand why he wasn't using it anymore on the show. So they are now not only wanting you to watch a different company to understand why Sasha and Willow are fighting, because you needed to watch New Japan, but you now need to watch a marquee, worthless, boring press conference to understand why the top guy in the company, or at least potentially the top guy in the company, you're going to push as the top guy, is no longer using his finish because it was explained in the press conference. Meanwhile, why is he the top guy when your actual top guy won the belt, but he's wrestling some nothing guy and he's not beating him quickly? He's wrestling for 20 minutes and he's the only fucking champion who wins a belt who doesn't get to talk. Jericho gets to talk, knowing that the crowd are going to give him the wrong crowd response, and Willow gets to talk in a horrendous segment with fucking Mercedes Moné, and every champion that won gets to talk except the main champion who won in the main event. No, he gets to wrestle against a fucking nobody. As JD said, he wrestles a guy who hasn't won a match on television since October, and it takes him 20 minutes to win. Like, how fucking stupid is the company?
This is like when they had Punk in there and he was wrestling jobbers and he would go 20 minutes. And I was like, why? What are they doing?
Yeah, I blame Punk. I blame Punk for that, for not talking and not speaking up.
He was trying to give back, I believe. And
like,
it's like, oh, well, let me have a whole match with somebody. But it was like, holy fuck, what are you doing? They even said, I guess they announced this later. They should have been promoting this on fucking Dynamite like crazy and saying, Swerve talks for the first time since winning on fucking Collision or wherever the fuck it is over there. And it's like, they didn't even fucking like promote that. Like, hey, watch this other show because that show is shit.
Well, apparently they're doing that because they said they had some kind of lead in from the basketball. So they wanted to start with Swerve.
Yeah, but I mean, like, fuck. I mean, they should fucking be promoting and fucking putting this out there on Dynamite going, oh, you're gonna, but yeah, if anything, then, don't give us a match with fucking Swerve. How about we don't even see Swerve? So then it's fuck, I'm dying to see him for the first time with the fucking belt. Meanwhile, that's normally what you would do the very next show, which they should have opened the fucking show with him coming out. But they didn't, and they have a fucking Orange Cassidy fucking angle. And why is the other guy mad at him? Because he superseded us. Great. This is what the fuck. He was supposed to be our mascot. Now we're the fucking lackeys. Fuck this guy. This is some story. Your thoughts on Tony taking a bump? And he's used to taking bumps, but not this kind.
I mean, Bischoff did a bit on it where he explained it best and said it looked like a parody angle. It looked like a parody of other things borrowed from wrestling, from Jungle Boy giving the look from Bret Hart when he hugged Owen, to Tony selling the heart punch by falling backwards like he took a headshot.
My favorite is that he's literally knocked unconscious for 3 seconds from a gut shot with a microphone popped in the fucking belly. And then he's unconscious. And then he realizes, oh, I have to pretend that my stomach hurts.
and then you had him fucking taking the tombstone. By the way, this thing, why does the guy flip over? And then just basically, by the time he's done that flip, he barely like gets a fingertip on the guy's arm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a show more than something.
He was a mile away from the floor. Like
well, that hair was a cushion.
Why didn't they not just hit the B trigger, which they were teasing?
That I enjoyed the fact that it was like everybody went, oh shit, here it comes, and then it was like there's the swerve of it, you know. And I guess that it's called the Tony Khan driver now, that you do it to him. But fuck it. I love that he goes, you'll never see me in a wrestling angle on TV. I'm never gonna do it. Well, I mean, things change.
Up until that point, the reintroduction of Jungle Boy and the bits that he'd done through the show was the only interesting thing. Otherwise, everything else you'd done wrong. I don't care about anything that Orange Cassidy does. Just to run through this very quickly and chronologically. And I'm going to run through it quickly because then I'll tell you why in a second. So I don't care anything about he does. Swerve shouldn't have been wrestling for 20 minutes. The Sasha segment was awful. Everything she's done is awful. I don't know how WWE produced her to be even semi-competent, but I think it probably required a lot of fucking patience, a lot of tolerance, and a lot of fucking reining her in. Because when she's allowed to be her, she cannot be a baby face. With that whole fucking coming out and that fucking insincere smile and allowing her to do her hair this way. Like, I mean, all she does is does the fucking stupid dance and then gets her catchphrase in, say hello to the CEO. It's awful. What are you the CEO of? Like, I don't understand what that even means. Like, she's gone from like Sasha Banks. She can't use that, and she's taken the
it kills her.
Banks part of it to try to relate it to money, and it's like money. Anybody talks about money. If I got this much money, I want this much money. You're a heel. You can never be a babyface. You don't act like a babyface. You don't move like a babyface. You don't conduct yourself like a babyface. She is just unbelievably dislikable, and she's not supposed to be in this role. But just everything that she says, every segment that she's in is bad. Willow couldn't fucking speak. Willow was fucking talking to Sasha, but looking at the camera. Like, do you not know how this works? Why are you talking to the camera like you're talking to people at home? The person you're facing is standing across from you. Like, they didn't know what they were doing. And then they're telling you that the entire match is built around an incident at New Japan Pro Wrestling, which, by the way, is Sasha Banks falling off a rope. And the story is, you tried to deliberately injure me. No, she didn't, you clumsy fuck. You fell off the rope. How is that her fault? How is this a story that this company wants to do? Like, and also, why are you telling these people that your biggest acquisition in your women's division has already been beaten by somebody who's not one of your highest acquisitions?
Here's the biggest problem for me on this, because they want their cake and eat it too. Because what they do is they expect everybody to have watched all this Japan shit, right? That's their audience. We expect all of you to watch the Japan shit so you know the storyline. But if you did watch the Japan shit, you know this is fucking completely wrong because she fell.
Yeah, there's not even an inkling of you pushed me off or you did this or you did that. There's nothing there. You clearly fell. So, I mean, it's just littered with flaws and errors across the board as you run through it. That fucking gauntlets match makes absolutely no sense.
No,
what kind of match is there where
it's not a gauntlet? A gauntlet is you beat somebody every fucking time and a new person comes in. That's a gauntlet.
This was, we're going to send people out until there's a pinfall. Well, the more people you send out, it would mean it's less likely there would be a pinfall, because a one-on-one match makes it more likely. Yeah. Suddenly, you've got fucking 27 guys out there and one person's trying to get the pin. You are setting yourself up for a match that could go on forever if you book logically, but obviously they don't. And Ospreay finds the way to get the win.
They did say 21 people total eventually. They just didn't know who they were. And I said, you know what? This could actually work if they had a different name for it and made this like an actual match on a pay-per-view where you didn't know the people. And this could be their semi-Royal Rumble / Money in the Bank. And if you had names come back or come out that were like, oh shit, look who it is. Like when Offspray came out, because I wasn't expecting that. And have this be almost for a Money in the Bank contract. If you win, you get to cash in. Because, and if anybody ever does like a cash in Money in the Bank thing, it's always a copy because it is what it is. But that could be this.
But it doesn't work because it kills everybody in the match because of the amount of time you need to incapacitate that many people. Because if you incapacitate participant number one, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got 16 people in there. The first person that you incapacitated, by the time you incapacitate the 16th guy that gets pinned, needs to be selling for about 8 minutes. So it doesn't work. It's just a fucking terrible concept. And it was a horrible watch. And then we got a fucking Moxley match where at this point he watered himself. He's ruined himself so much that if he doesn't bleed, you feel like it's filler. And when he does bleed, you feel like it's pointless. So he needs to go away for even longer than he has done. Or he needs to move back to the other company where they might actually be able to save his career. But and then you have the segment where I think everything essentially has been said about it. I don't know what more we could add. It was bad. It was done badly. I imagine where they go from here is going to be bad. They're the top heels in the company and they're not believable. I look at them still, and I mean, Okada is the biggest one. He's the biggest one in terms of stature. But you cannot lead your company with a group of guys who look this size. And people would turn around and go, oh, the Horsemen weren't as big as Hulk Hogan. Well, the Horsemen were much bigger than these guys. The Horsemen looked like they fucking went to the gym and did something. These are 4 normal looking fucking dudes. And 2 of them are losing their hair and trying to pretend they're not. I'm going to save the rest of it.
I was going to say,
I'm
Billy,
doing a show.
I don't know what I would do to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
There's your cue. Go ahead.
No, I don't either, but I'm going to try. I'm going to do a show this week about where AEW go from here. I'm going to talk about the errors. I'm going to talk about how they can potentially fix the situation of them having massive decline in ticket sales to the point where it's now showing up on TV, and it's very much known on social media with the whole seat filler situation and everything. I mean, Dave made a ridiculous allegation where he was talking about saying, oh, everybody uses seat fillers. Even WWE use seat fillers when they don't want people see empty seats when people are going for a hot dog or a drink or to the toilet. Bull fucking shit. I had to scrape and call in favors to get tickets to a house show in London. A genuine 16,000 sellout. Every single fucking seat was sold at every show I went to in Philadelphia, from WrestleMania to Raw to SmackDown. Don't fucking chat shit. This company is dead on its ass. I have some ideas how to fix it, what they can do moving forward. We'll talk more about this, the shit that they've done this week. I'm even considering rebooking or booking the company from this point on another show and booking things how I would do it in order to try and maybe fucking draw some money, create some stars, and have less dead television and essentially cut some of the dead weight from this company. But I'm going to talk about all of that. I'm going to try and fucking structure that show so that it is a efficient and digestible show over on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is now monetized, so I want to start doing some solo content on there where I can talk about individual topics that I want to discuss. But meanwhile, we're going to move over to the paywall now to talk about the Wrestling Informers topics, as we've only left ourselves 20 minutes to do that. So it's well worth getting that show because it's going to be a very quick breeze through the news. How people like. Yeah, how people fucking wanted it when we actually did the Inform on K100. Hey, just get to the news. Oh, well, we are. So fuck off. But you have to pay for it now.
So follow us at Dirty Sheets X on X. You want to look at Billy Boy. He is at Lock Betting X on X. I am at Lingus Mafia on X. Remember, subscribe to all this stuff. It's at dirtysheets.com. You will be able to see it on your Apple. If you have Apple, you will be able to click and be there. And get us over there for the Informer. We'll see you next week.